VLAN routing, you have to use router, and router cannot communicate with the same network, right? So we have to give them a different network. So here it is like I just assign this type of IP. So 10 would be the network for red. Here we will give this a blue, and then green would will use like a 30 network. Okay, so this was the series 10.2, and here I just assign IP address as well. Okay, so you can see this here. I just assign 10.2. Here I just assign 10.3 here. Okay, and the default gateway is 10.1. Right, here we have this 20, here we have this 30. Okay, I'm having this whiteboard also, so you can able to understand this is what the scenario of the first lab. Yeah, this is what the scenario of the first lab. Now I have to configure switch, I have to configure router. So this is what we required. Okay, I just configure IP address and the connectivity. Yeah, so we'll do it practically right now. Now just want to ask you that, are you guys able to understand this scenario? Yeah, this is what in front of you. We are like, I'm having 3 VLANs. Okay, I'm going to configure VLANs into the switch for sure, but this is what like 3 VLANs, and I'm having 3 port. Yeah, so it is like one port is 8 number port, it is in the red, blue is in the blue, like a 9 number port, it is in the blue, and 10 number port, it is in the green. Yeah, so are you guys able to understand this scenario? So tell me yes, so I can go ahead. Yeah, I want that the scenario must be very clear, the lab must be very clear. Otherwise what happens, like you can be confused. Yeah, and I don't want to make you confused. So the first thing is, are you able to understand this scenario? Yeah, port number 8 will be on a red VLAN, port number 9 will be on a blue VLAN, and port number 10, yeah, sorry, I just make mistake over here. Wait. I have to remove. Yeah, wait. The mistake is like 7, 8, and 9. This is what. Yeah. Okay, so Nikhil and everyone, like Chetan is saying yes, Nikhil is saying yes, Neeraj is saying yes. Good. So this is done, right? Now I just need to configure this scenario. Okay, so first I'm going to this VLAN, and this is switch. Yeah, and there is no configuration in switch at all. Okay, there is no configuration in switch at all. So I'm going to configure this switch, and here we have this default VLAN, and we have this. Sir, one switch having network 192.168.20 and other switch having 20 cannot both PC communicate with each other without inter-VLAN. No. Punit Agrawal is saying, sir, one switch or one VLAN, Punit bhai. One switch or one VLAN. Right now, what I am doing is like I have to configure different network for a different VLAN. Yeah, either you can use subnetting. Yeah, either you can use subnetting. Either you have to use a different network. Yeah, either you have to use the different network. Okay. So now what I'm doing right now, I'm going to configure 3 VLAN. Yeah, I'm going to configure 3 VLANs. So yeah, you can use subnetting for sure. Okay. So the first is VLAN 2. I'm not going to use VLAN 1. Yeah, I'm not going to use VLAN 1. So VLAN 2, name red. Okay. Exit VLAN 3, name blue. And VLAN 4, name green. Yeah. Okay. No. If they are in the different VLAN, they can't able to communicate. Yeah. If they are in the different VLAN, see, if you are giving the same IP address, okay, so what is the meaning? Like you are giving the IP address in the same range. There is no meaning for the inter-VLAN. Yeah. So VLAN, if you are creating VLAN, they cannot able to communicate with each other. If you give the same IP address range or you give different IP address range, yeah, it doesn't matter. Second thing is, if you are using, like if you want to enable communication, you must have router. Okay, this is what it is required. Okay, so now here it is like I'm having 3 VLAN. Yeah, red, blue, and green. Okay, same over here. See this. Yeah, red, blue, and green. Okay. Now the port number 1 and 2 will be in the red, 3 and 4 will be in the blue, and 5 and 6 will be in the green. Yeah, same as over here. And this is what I'm having. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. We'll talk about this, Puneet, by later, because right now I want to finish this. Yeah, and if you have any problem, you can message me in the messenger, and I will explain you this later, because this is like what we are talking about. I cannot able to finish this within this time frame. Yeah, so it is like understand your question and then answering you will take time, right? So yeah, you can message me on the messenger. We'll talk about this for sure, and I will give you total answer. Yeah, so it would be better if you concentrate on that particular topic right now. We'll talk about this, no problem. You can message me anytime on the messenger. Yeah, okay. Because what happened, like if I will give you answer of your question, then the concentration will be break, and at the end I cannot able to finish this topic for sure. Yeah, so let me finish this and then we'll talk about this. Yeah, and I recommended you, if you didn't see this older video, you can go and see this video number maybe like 35 to 40, and you will get, maybe your concept will be clear about VLAN for sure. Otherwise, if you have any question, we'll talk about this, right? Yeah, so let me configure VLAN. Yeah, I am having this VLAN, so I'm going to port number interface range. Okay, fast Ethernet 0/1 and 2. Okay, switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN 2. Okay, exit interface range fast Ethernet 0/3 and 4, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 3. Yeah, and here is like an interface range fast Ethernet 0/5 to 6, switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN 4. Right, so I just assigned this port. Let me verify this. So VLAN, so I am having like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Right, obviously they are not able to communicate right now because they have different network ID and they have a different VLAN. It means they can't communicate for sure, right? So must be like, we must have router for sure. Okay, if you want to enable inter-VLAN routing, right? So here it is like a PC1, and I'm going to this command prompt, and if you type over here is like 192.168.20.2. Yeah, the communication is not possible because they are in the different VLAN and they are having different network ID as well, right? So communication is not possible, and here I have to configure this router. Now that what I'm using in this particular lab, yeah, in this particular lab is really older one. Yeah, people are not using it. Why? Because in this particular configuration I have to configure 3 port to the router. So I'm using, like, I have to use 3 port of the router. It means I'm using per port per VLAN. Yeah, so I'm using 1 port per VLAN, and this is what the problem. Like suppose if I'm having 10 VLAN, I cannot use 10 port of the router. Yeah, so this is like an older scenario. Then this is like a good, and this is what we call on a router on stick. Yeah, so this is what, like, we are using. Like if I'm having 5 routers, 10, like if I'm having 5 VLANs, 10 VLANs, there is only 1 port, okay, that is going to the router. Okay, so this is like a one single port is enabling communication with all the VLANs. But here we have this 3 port of the router, like there is a 1 cable for each VLAN, right? So this is what, like, right now the VLAN status is. But now what I have to do is I have to assign port number 7 into the red, port number 8 into the blue, and port number 9 into the green. Yeah, if you have any confusion, I am here having this number over here. Yeah, so 7 will be in the red, 8 will be on the blue, and 9 will be on the green, right? So going to do this. Config T, interface fast Ethernet 0/7, switch port, mode access, switch port access, VLAN 2. Yeah, interface fast Ethernet 0/8, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 3. Yeah, and then again is the last one, 9, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 4. Right? So VLAN, I'm having this 127. Here is a 127. Just make this red numbers. Yeah, 348, 348, and 569. 569. All okay? Yeah, all okay. If you're all clear, just type clear into the message box so I can move ahead. Yeah, now I just need to configure my router and then it will be all. Like, you do not need to configure trunk or anything in this condition. But the biggest drawback of this situation is you must have to configure connectivity for each VLAN. Yeah, so I'm having 3 VLAN. So I'm using 3 port of the router, each port for each VLAN. Yeah, so this is what the problem with this type of the scenario, right? Now, let me configure router. Okay, so I'm going to router. There is starting. Okay, this is what the fresh no and just enable. So IP interface brief. Yeah, I'm having 3 port fast Ethernet 0/0, 0/1, and 0/0/0. Yeah, and which IP address this I will assign. There is I already clear over here. So fast Ethernet 0/0 would we get 10.1, 20.1, and 30.1. And all these computers will have this default gateway, right? So IP address of the router is basically default gateway of your PC. So here we will assign 10.1 default gateway to 10.2 and 3. 20.1 and 20.2 would get this 20.1 as a default gateway, and 30.2 and 3 would get this 30.1 as a default gateway, right? And this particular port are in the same VLAN, yeah, so they can able to communicate, right? So here, config T, interface, fast Ethernet 0/0, IP address. Sir, we can create VLAN interface on the router also. Yeah, it is based on some switch having this facility. Yeah, some switch having this, some routers having this facility. We'll talk about that particular models. Yeah, so they have this switch module inbuilt. So we have to add the switch module if you want to do this. Okay, so 10.1 in my company, like in our institute, I'm having this router of Cisco 1812. It is in this is a router, but they have the switch module also, right? So yeah, 255, 255, 2550, and then no shut. Okay, interface fast Ethernet 0/1, IP address 192.168.20.1, 255, 255, 2550, no shut. Thank you, Arun. Thank you. And interface fast Ethernet 0/0/0. Sorry, it is interface Ethernet 0/0/0. IP address 192.168.30.1, 255, 255.0. Okay. No shut. Right. Let me verify this. So IP interface brief. All my interfaces are up. And now I do not need to configure anything. Yeah, no trunking, nothing, because there is like a no trunk port. So no encapsulation, nothing. Yeah. And just want to verify this, the ping is communicating or not. Say this, I'm getting ping. Yeah, I'm getting ping because of this Inter-VLAN routing. Okay. And if I want to ping 30.2, I will get ping for the 30.2 as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting ping for 30.2. So it is like a very easy matter. Okay, you just need to assign router port to the VLAN. Okay, it means you just need to assign router like switch port which is connecting to the router to the same VLAN. And this is what the scenario is. Okay, I just configure VLAN. Okay, and just I assign port like 7, 8, 9 into that particular VLAN, and there is my router, and just configure IP address. Yeah, so it is done, right? Is there any routing is required? Tell me, guys. Is there any routing is required? Yes or no? Yeah, is there any routing? Like, have I need to like configure routing anything or else? Yeah. Like any routing protocol I need to configure? Yes or no? I just like I need to configure any routing protocol? Yes or no? No. Why? Why? If someone asks you why, so, look like is there any reason? Yeah, no, this is like good, but why? Without routing protocol, I am doing work, right? So any reason behind this? No need to configure routing protocol for sure. I got it. Why? Because in this situation, yeah, because in this situation, I am having one router and total networks are three, yeah, 10, 20, and 30. Okay, all three networks are directly connected with my router. Okay, yeah, so yeah, now we are working on same router. Yeah, as we are having only one router and all these networks are directly connected with my router. Yeah, so there is only one router. So by default my routers like R1 knows every about having a knowledge of 10, 20, and 30. So I do not need to configure any routing. Yeah, now for sure, like suppose I am configuring lab like this. Yeah, let me use black color. Wait, let's suppose this is like my I'm having second router. Okay, and like we have this 100.1 over here, 100.2 over here, and here like I'm having a 150.1 network over here, and this is like a PC 150.2. Now if you want to ping from 150.2 to 10.2 or 20.2 to 30.2, you have to configure routing, because right now in this particular situation, router, this is like a R1 don't have route for 50, and R2 don't have route for 10, 20, 30. Yeah, so if you want to connect one more router with this particular R1 in this situation, you may need to configure routing. Yeah, if it is based on the requirement, right? It is based on the requirement, right? So keep this in mind. No routing is needed. Like by default, my router R1, R2, R3 having all directly connected network. Okay, so 10, 20, 30 all networks are directly connected, so no need to configure routing. Yeah, routing means routing protocol. Routing protocol. Done. Yeah, now keep this in mind. Okay, do not forget this what I am saying right now. The matter is you done this inter-VLAN routing very good. There is like a very easy way. Yeah, and there are nothing like you just configure IP address and VLANs and it works. But if it is useless if you are not configuring access list. Yeah, so after configuring VLAN, if you are allowing all the traffic from all the VLAN, like now the condition is 10.2 and 3 can able to access 20.2 and 3, 30.2 and 3. Yeah, so everything is like accessible. So now this is what the useless. We are doing inter-VLAN routing because I want to pass my data through the router. I want that my data should be passed through router. Now it is happening over here. And now I can configure access list on my router. So I can say that, okay, I want to allow that particular type of traffic. Yeah, that particular type of traffic. So this is what important. Without access list, if you are doing inter-VLAN routing, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So now what is this access list? We'll talk about this later, like in upcoming session. We'll talk about this access list also, but access list is what required. Yeah, we have to restrict the traffic. Do not allow all the traffic using this Inter-VLAN. And if you are allowing all, it would be better do not use this Inter-VLAN and everything. Just use normal switch and enable communication between all of them. Yeah, this would be good. So if you don't want audit, if you don't want any security, VLAN is like useless. Done. So this is what good. Now tell me what is the disadvantage of this scenario. Yeah, I'm having this first scenario. We just finished this first scenario, right? Now I'm having the second. So what is the advantage of this first and second? What do you think, like 1 or 2? Like if you are network administrator and you are configuring this scenario, which scenario you will prefer, 1 or 2? This is what the 1 and this is second. So which scenario you will prefer, 1 or 2? Yeah, which scenario you will prefer? Waiting for reply. Yeah, Nikhil is saying 2. Good. Naresh Chaya is saying 2. Chetan is saying 2. So everyone is preparing 2. Yeah, everyone is preparing 2. Yeah, good. Why? Yeah, can you tell me why? I'm trying to see this same video from the mobile, so maybe I will get your comment very early. Yeah. Okay. 2. Yeah, 2 is really right answer. Save interface. Yeah. So basically in the first scenario, the disadvantage is we have to use one interface per VLAN. Okay. And if you have 10 VLANs, it is like almost impossible to configure this because in the router we don't have this 10 port, right? So this is not good, and this is like really good scenario. Yeah. So in this particular switch, I am going to configure Inter-VLAN. Yeah. So now I'm going to close this. Yeah. Close this. So switch 1 closing, PC 1 closing, router now I'm closing. Yeah. So the first is done. Yeah. If the first is done, and now I'm going to configure the second scenario. Okay. And before I go this, let me draw this. Yeah. Let me draw this. So here we have the different scenario, and the scenario is like this. Yeah, there is only one port. Yeah, there is only one port which is coming to my router, and this is like a fast Ethernet 0/0. Yeah, I'm only using one port which is coming to my router. Now tell me, if I'm doing this, which like what will be the status of this port? Yeah, this port will be like, can I configure this port as access? Yeah, what will be the status of this port? Access or trunk? Yeah, what would be the status of this port? Yeah, I just configure like a VLAN and everything is done. Now I'm configured the 7th port. So what will be the status of this port? Can I configure it as an access port or trunk port? What you said, guys? Access or trunk? Just type quickly access or trunk. Yeah, we have to finish this layer 3 switch also. Yeah. Access or trunk? Yeah, my question is access or trunk. Chetan is saying trunk. Okay. Nikhil is saying trunk. Yeah, Neeraj is saying trunk. Both ports should be trunk. Both port, which port? Naresh, both port means what? Like which port of the like router port? Yeah, Naresh is saying both port. Can you explain this? Like why both the port? Yeah. See, sometimes like why I'm asking you question. Yeah, it will clear your concept. Okay, right now like Naresh is saying both port. So what is the meaning of this? Both port means what? Moin is saying trunk. Yeah, trunk is okay. Done. Yeah, if you are saying trunk port, it is right. You are true. Like this is what we require. But what about the port, both port? Yeah, Naresh, I just asking to you. Can you explain me what is this both port? Yeah. The matter over here is, see, when we are talking about the router port, yeah, when we are talking about the router port, basically we can say that the router port is a layer 3 port. Okay. And switch having, yeah, this is what I'm explaining you. Yeah, so switch having layer 2 port. Okay. So when we are talking about the status of the port, the switch having layer 2 port, and this is what the layer 2 status, access port, or we can say trunk port, it is the status of layer 2, right? When we are talking about the router port is a layer 3, and router don't have this type of status because this is layer 3. So layer 3 port don't have any status like access port and trunk port. So in this case, we have to configure port number 7 of the switch as a router port, like sorry, as a trunk port. This is for sure because it will pass 3 VLANs, red, blue, and green. That's why we have to configure port number 7 as a trunk port, because this particular port is layer 2. Now, if you are configuring, if you are talking about the router port, it is a layer 3, and layer 3 port don't have this access and trunk port status. Yeah. So keep this in mind. Yeah. I just clear this. So maybe like if you are in the interview and if you are like they are telling you that, okay, which port you will configure as a trunk, like as a trunk port or an access port, right? So on router, no need to create trunk. You cannot create this. Yeah. Naresh, you cannot create this. Why? Because in the router, we don't have this status. Yeah. You cannot give the command switch port trunk. Yeah. We configure encapsulation that we are going to configure. Yeah. But there is no port like a trunk port in the router. Okay. And keep this in mind. Okay. So first, let me configure this VLANs. Yeah. This is over. Should I delete this? Yeah. But I'm going to delete this all scenario. So like it will be, yeah. Right now we are talking about this. Yeah. Right now we are talking about this. Okay. And now I'm going to switch CLI, enable, creating VLAN, VLAN 2, name red, VLAN 3, name blue, and VLAN 4, name green. Yeah. So VLAN, we have this red, blue, green. Let me assign port, interface range, fast Ethernet 0/1 and 2, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 2. Yeah. Interface, fast Ethernet interface range 3, 2, and 3 and 4. Okay, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 3, and then 5 to 6, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 4. Done. Verify. So VLAN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah. Now, seventh port. Yeah. The seventh port is connecting with this router. Yeah. Seventh port is connected with router. So tell me what will be the command on the port number 7. Yeah, what will be the command on the port number 7? I am on the port number 7, and tell me what will be the command. Yeah, what will be the command on port number 7? I want to configure port number 7 as a trunk port. So you guys just tell me what will be the command on port number 7. Yes. Yeah, Nikhil is like very quickly today. The command is switch port mode trunk. Yeah. Now, if I'm configuring this port as a trunk port, what is the default encapsulation of this port? Yeah. Nitish Sharma is saying switch port mode trunk. True. Okay. Now, if I'm configuring this port as a trunk port, what is the default encapsulation of the trunk port, guys? What is the default encapsulation of the trunk port? Neeraj, yes, switch port mode trunk. You have to tell me like what is the default encapsulation of this trunk port. Yeah. Let me give you one hint. There are two types of encapsulation. One is called 802.1q and the second is ISL. Yeah. 802.1q is a standard. ISL is a Cisco proprietary and ISL stands for inter-switch link. Yeah. So basic is a .1q and I want to verify this so I can go to the show interface trunk. Yeah. And now right now the port is set down at other end, so I'm not getting this. Yeah. So status of the port is set down because I have to configure router as well. So that's why I'm not getting the status. So let me start my router. Yeah. And the port is in the shutdown status right now. Yeah. So, okay. So the status will be like 802.1q. You are right. Yeah. Right. Done. Now, the situation is in the previous lab. Yeah. In the previous lab, I was having 3 interface of the router and I just assigned one IP address per VLAN to the router. Yeah, I just assigned one IP address per VLAN. So at that in that particular lab, one interface got 10.1, second interface got 10.2, sorry 20.1, and third interface got 30.1. Yeah. The problem here we have is like we are having only one interface. Okay, we are having only one interface. So now tell me, how can I assign, yeah, how can I assign 3 IP address to the single interface? Yeah, because right now I am having 3 VLAN and I have to assign 10.1 for VLAN 1, like VLAN red. Blue, for blue I have to assign 20.1 and for green I have to assign 30.1. And my router having only one interface. Yeah, my router having only one interface. So how can I assign 3 IP address to single interface? Yeah. So any possibilities, any idea? You guys having any idea? Chetan is saying switch port. Sorry, Chetan is saying sub interface. Right on track, Chetan, right on track. Yeah, so we have to configure sub interface. Okay, we have to configure sub interface, right? So here I'm going to create sub interface. The first is like assign fast Ethernet 0/0, okay, and then give no shut command. Okay, so in this case, what I am doing, I am just enabling this port, right? And I'm just enabling this port, right? So right now it is like enabling, I got it, and now it will be like on. Okay. Okay, no need to configure IP address to anything. We have to configure sub interface of the router port. Yeah, you cannot create sub interface on the layer 3 switch. Keep this in mind. Yeah, you cannot create sub interface. Now you can create sub interface. So the command is like interface fast Ethernet 0/0 dot, and then you have to give the sub interface number. Now this is what the number, like maximum number of sub interface you can configure on the router, but here it is like I'm going to configure same as a VLAN. Yeah, you can give any number, like it is up to you. Like if you are configuring 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, any number you can give. But the best practice is configure port number with the same as VLAN. Yeah. So right now I'm having VLAN 2, 3, and 4. So what I'm going to configure is like interface pass Ethernet 0/0.2. So I can find it out that, okay, I'm creating this for VLAN 2. Yeah, it is up to you. Like if you want to use different number, you can, but follow the best practice. And as per best practice, the Cisco network engineers are doing same thing. So if I'm configuring this sub interface for port number, like I'm configuring this for VLAN 2, I can give number 2 over here, right? And here we have this flexibility of numbers, like we are getting lots of number, right? So now I am on the sub interface. Okay, now I have to use this, like why I'm configuring this something, like why I'm using this. So I have to give the command like encapsulation. Yeah, and you know this, the dipole encapsulation is .1q. And why I'm creating this sub interface? Because I want to map VLAN 2 with this. So here, like trunk is sending VLAN data, like it is sending the data for VLAN 2, 3, and 4. But I am creating this sub interface for encapsulation.1q, and I'm configuring this for VLAN 2. So I just need to give the right number of VLAN. Yeah. Do not forget to give right number of VLAN over here. People are doing mistake over here. See, this number is okay. Yeah, this number is okay. It is not same as a VLAN. You can use 20 also if you want to use it, but this number must be same. Yeah. So I am creating this particular sub interface for VLAN 2. And now I have to give IP address of the sub interface, which IP address we are using. So here is like IP address 192.168.10.1, 255.255.255.0, and is your main interface. Like right now my main interface is up, so sub interface is also up. Yeah, I do not need to give no set command over here, it works. Okay, and now I'm going to exit from the sub interface. Okay, now just give me the command for second sub interface. Yeah, just type command for the second interface. Yeah, you just need to type this and I will be use this. Okay, I'm going to use this, right? So just type the command for a VLAN 3. Yeah, just type the commands for VLAN 3. Waiting for your response. Yeah, just type the command for VLAN 3. Waiting for your reply. Okay, Chaitanya, I am following you. Okay, interface pass Ethernet 0/0.3. Right, done. Give me next command. IP address. Yeah, Naresh. No, Nitish Sharma, maybe it is a typo mistake or what? Interface pass Ethernet 0/0.3, 3.3 or 0.3. See, I am having only one interface, and which is pass Ethernet 0/0, right? And yeah, Nitish Sharma is like a mistake. Maris Avram, yeah, you are getting, like you are sending message after long time. Yeah, Maris. So yeah, interface pass Ethernet 0, encapsulation .1q. Don't forget to map proper VLAN. Yeah, 3 IP address 192.168.20.1, 255.255.255.0. Yeah, no need to give no shut command. Yeah, done. And now I just need to change this. So fast Ethernet 0/0.4. Okay, encapsulation. Sorry. See, Configuring IP router is only allowed if the sub-interface is already configured with the IEEE encapsulation. Yeah. So you do not give IP. I just mistakenly press enter. So you cannot configure IP address first. You have to encapsulate that. Like I have to configure like a .4, and then I'm going to configure IP address 192.168.30.1, 255, 255, 2550. So this is for VLAN 4. Yeah. Now, if you want to see the entire configuration, I'm going to give so run command. So here you will get the detail. Say this is what the final scenario. Yeah. I'm having main interface. It is a fast Ethernet 0/0. Here I'm having like a 0/0.2.3 and 3, 4. Okay, 2, 3, and 4, and just match this. Yeah, the people are doing mistake over here. It is like a 10.1 with the 2. So here you should identify. Yeah, I just map with VLAN 3 and then they give the IP address of VLAN 4. Here people are doing mistake, so do not make mistake over here. And this is what the VLAN routing, like inter-VLAN routing. And maybe like a 2 year ago, if you are giving exam of CCNA, this was the lab. Yeah, this was the lab. And maybe like lab having higher weightage. So if you are not able to perform lab during the exam, you cannot pass this exam, right? So this was important before 2 year, but right now, let me clear this. Right now, when you will going to give exam, you will not get any lab. Yeah, right now there is a no lab. Okay, you will get 102 or 103 questions. You just need to give the answer of this question. Nowadays, Cisco is not asking lab in any exam. It can be NCore exam, like a NP exam or NA exam. You will get 102 question and there is no lab. But previously, this was the lab. Yeah, right now it is not. So now it is done. I just configure this. Just type clear if you're thinking that all clear. And here is like a command line, and I'm going to ping 192.168.20.2. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having this habit of GNS. Yeah, I'm getting ping and everything is done now. Okay, and it is Inter-VLAN using one and only one router on a stick configuration. Inter-VLAN routing is really important, and router on a stick is like people, like companies are using this. Yeah, so I hope it is a clear. And now I'm going to configure layer 3. Yeah, layer 3. So if it is a clear, just type clear. So I'm going to clear this, and then we are going to talk about this. Yeah, we are going to talk about this. Now, this particular lab is not enough to understand layer 3 switch. Yeah, this is not enough to understand layer 3 switch. I'm just going to start one lab. Yeah, this is the lab. We'll talk about more for layer 3 like tomorrow. Right now, I will perform this lab over here, and then we'll do it. Like I will explain you more about layer 3 switch tomorrow. Okay. So let me delete this. Yeah, Naresh, Chetan, Nikhil, everyone is saying clear. So like good, I'm going to delete this lab so it doesn't make any confusion for us. Yeah, deleting. It is done. We got ping and everything is okay, and no need to configure any routing protocol because all three networks actually directly connected with my router, right? So here I'm having this layer 3 switch. It is a 3560. I will give you proper explanation of the layer 3 switch tomorrow. Layer 3 switch is a device which can able to enable routing and switching both. Yeah, it can be enable routing and switching both. So here I do not need any two devices. So here this router, like this switch, is working as a layer 2. So I can configure VLAN, and same thing, I can configure inter-VLAN routing for sure, right? This is what the layer 3 function, right? So let me create VLAN first, okay? And as per this particular point, I can say that now it is not required. Yeah, I can say that this is not required. Yeah, even I don't want any port over here. Nothing is required. Yeah. Okay. So IP is already done. Let me go to the layer 3 switch and I'm going to configure VLANs. Yeah, it is same like a layer 2. Yeah, it is same like a layer 2. So enable. So VLAN, same as normal switches. I am having only one VLAN. Let me configure VLAN. So host like VLAN 2, name red, VLAN 3, name blue, VLAN 4, name green. Yeah, let me assign port. So VLAN, this is my VLAN. Now interface range, fast Ethernet 0/1 and 2, switch port, mode, trunk. Sorry, switch port, mode, access, switch port, access, VLAN 2. Yeah. So now 1 and 2 will be in a VLAN 2, verify. So VLAN, yeah, 1 and 2 in a red, interface 3 and 4. Yeah, interface 3 and 4, switch port, mode, access, switch port, access, VLAN 3. Yeah, and then I'm going to give 5 and 6. Yeah, and switch port, mode, access, and VLAN 4. Right. So now it is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it is done. Now the matter is I have to configure layer 3. Yeah, I have to configure layer 3 port. I have to configure 3 IP for each VLAN, 1 IP. So it will be like 3, 10.1, 20.1 and 30.1. Now the problem is, where should I give this IP? Yeah, where should I give this IP? We have just 6 minutes left. Okay, and tell me where I can give IP address. Any idea? Yes, any idea? Anyone? See, as in the previous 2 lab, yeah, we just assign, we have to configure VLAN interface. Okay, we have to configure VLAN interface. Good. So how can I assign on L3? How can I assign? Like, which command should I start? Yeah. Yeah. Which command is required? So on L3, yeah, on L3, yeah, I'm talking about L3, this is sure. So I want to assign IP 10.1. How can I assign this? Anyone? This is layer 3 switch. Yeah, but how can I assign? Like, you are the administrator and this is your responsibility. So assign IP address of the 10.1. How can you assign this? Yeah, I know that. Create VLAN interface. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay. I have to create VLAN interface. Yeah. How? And what you called it? Just 5 minutes I am having. Yeah. So let me clear this point. So first thing is you have to create SVI. Okay. SVI stands for switch virtual interface. It stands for switch virtual interface. So now what can be, like, how can I do this? You have to go to the interface VLAN 2. Yeah. I'm going to use this interface VLAN 2. Why? Because I'm having VLAN 2. So as per this, it will be like interface VLAN 2. Okay. This is what we call switch virtual interface. Okay. And then I have to assign IP 192.168.10.1, 255, 255, 2550. Yeah. And you can give like no set command. Okay. And then exit. Now you have to create SVI for each of your VLAN. Okay. Each of your VLAN. So you can give a command like so interface VLAN 2. So here you will get this VLAN 2 is up. Okay. And right now we are using this. Otherwise you will get like SVI. Yeah. If you are in working with the defaults like a live switch, you will get the detail about SVI. And this is what we call switch virtual interface. Yeah. the SVI. Now interface VLAN 3, okay, IP address 192.168.20.2, 255.255.255.0. Sorry, I just assigned wrong IP, 20.1, and then no shut, and then interface VLAN 4, yeah, and assign IP address 192.168.30.1, 255.255.255.0, and no shut. I have to assign IP address to each virtual interface. Yeah, it is called SVI, so IP interface brief. So here I'm having this switch virtual interface, and I just use this VLAN 1, 2, and 3. Like, sorry, we have this 2, 3, and 4, right? So now let me verify that I'm getting ping or not. Okay, desktop. This is like IP configuration. It is all done. So let me ping. Okay, ping 192.168.20.2. What do you guys? What do you say? What will be the status? Can I get ping or not? Yes or no? Just answer me yes or no. We have 2 minutes left. Yeah, just give me answer yes or no. Waiting for your reply. Yeah, yes or no. Naresh is saying no. Okay. Anyone else? See, give me solution also. Yeah, if I'm not getting ping, what is the problem? So give me solution. Nikhil is saying no. Okay. Yeah. So if you guys are saying no, just give me solution. If you are saying yes, if there is a yes, it is like already solved, right? Yes. Naresh and Nikhil just said no. Okay, good. Let me verify. Yeah, let me verify. Yeah, I'm not getting ping. Yeah, I'm not getting ping. Say this. You have to create trunk port. Why? Like where I can create trunk port? Yeah, where I create trunk port. There is no any VLAN. It is going through that particular port, right? So I do not need to create trunk port or anything in this situation. We are not enabled trunk port. Where you will enable? Yeah, where? Yeah, this is what switch. Like tell me, like where I could enable this. You are giving me solution. You have to create a trunk port, yeah. But now tell me, like, where should I create this? Chetan is on the right target. See, when you are using Inter-VLAN, yeah, by default, switch don't have routing capabilities enabled. Keep this in mind, yeah. Layer 3 switch don't have routing capabilities enabled, and you have to enable this. And to enable this, the command is IP routing. You have to give this command, otherwise your switch cannot work as a layer 3. No need to configure trunk, nothing. Just configure IP routing and it's done. And it's done. So let's wait and then we will get this ping. Okay, so this is how the system works. Okay, so just need to configure SVI, switch virtual interface. Okay, and then you just need to configure command IP routing. Yeah, and this is what it is required. Yeah, Naresh, you asked me, but at that time it was not perfect. Yeah, it was not perfect time to give the answer of this. Yeah, you are too early at that time, so I didn't able to give this. Okay, see here I don't have IP, that's why I'm not getting ping. Okay, so 20.2, and yeah, it is done. Now I just assign IP. So now let me verify. Yeah, I will get the ping. Okay, and IP routing is required. Let me give this like no IP routing. So I just disable routing, so I will not get ping. Yeah, I will not get ping. See this, I'm not getting ping. Yeah, see request timeout, and here it is like required to give IP routing. Yeah, so without IP routing you cannot, and by default Cisco switches don't have IP routing enabled. You have to enable it, and this is what the third point. This is what over. Yeah, so my agenda of the day is over now. I just enable, like I'm just configure all 3 lab today.